Good evening, everyone. It's 7 o'clock. I'd like to call the meeting to order. We have a special meeting tonight before starting our regular meetings. So I would like to have a motion to approve the agenda or to adopt the agenda for this special meeting. Moved by Councillor Hill, seconded by Councillor Comeau. All in favor? Against? Carried. So on this agenda, we have the presentation of the new councillor for District 5, Stephen Comeau. Welcome to our table. I would also like to thank the other two participants who were candidates in the election. It was good to see that there was some interest in the district, and congratulations. So, thank you, Mr. Warden. If you'll allow me, I would invite Mr. Comeau to please come to the front of the room. I, Stephen Comeau, solemnly affirm that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors according to law, and that I am duly qualified, as required by law, for the office of Councillor of the Municipality of District of Clare, and that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially execute the duties of the office to which I have been elected to the best of my knowledge and ability, and that I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of any partiality or other undue execution of the duties of my office.
So it's official. Welcome. This being said, I need a motion to adjourn that meeting. Come as Deputy Warden. All those in favor? Again, so we'll take a short pause of 5 to 10 minutes to prepare ourselves for the next meeting. So we'll be back on the on TV there in a short while. back now on the air. So, do we have anything to add on tonight's agenda? This is our second meeting tonight. I need a call to meeting to order, and now I'd like to have a motion to adopt the agenda, but we haven't something to add yet, if you allow me to do. It's not a regular practice to do this at our meeting reunions, but there's a correction to do on the agenda. The first, on the English version of the, under the adoption of minutes, it should be 5.2, not 5.3, and on the French version is okay. And also on the item number 12, new business, we'll have a 12.5. I'd like to remove the motion to enter intermunicipal agreement of the REN and replace it with a motion to do a grant for the something to regarding the to get some water. Oh, I thought I'd have the accord for the REN this evening, but I have not received it, so we will discuss the water. Is there another addition from Councillor Evans? Yeah, I'd like to add on part 11 committee report on the library system under number 11 for my committee. If you agree with all these, and we'll need it's Cooper and Councillor DeVoe, motion carried. This brings us to number 3, declaration of conflict of interest. Are there any conflicts of interest on tonight's agenda? Yes, I am still in a conflict on the new motion 12.5 on the program for to add for water. And I'll ask Deputy Warden to replace me for that item. And now this brings us to number 4, no presentations this evening. Number 5, adoption of minutes. The one of September 17th, we had a regular council meeting. Proposed by Councillor Hill, seconded by Conseiller Como. Stephen Como, all those in favour? Against? Motion carried. 5.2, the meeting of the October 8th Council and Committee meeting. Have you found errors or omissions on this one? Proposed by Conseiller Como. My name is not included here as being absent at that meeting. I would like it to be added. Well, so with those two ads, are you ready to do accept this proposed by Conseiller Como? And Carl was not here. Councillor. When we have our meetings, we looked at, I don't know what it's called, but the regulations. Even if we are not here, if we have read the minutes, I can make the motion. That's what is included in the policies of the province. For the rules of order. I agree with Carl because I think it is just to you don't have to be present, but it is just to accept the minutes. We can redo it and check it to be safe. So I am not 100% sure, but I will check this out. If you want to redo the process for the September 7th regular council meeting, Conseiller Como made the motion, seconded by Conseiller Cooper. All those in favor? Motion carried. And this brings us to number 5.8, the council and committee meeting with the 2 corrections of Conseiller Como. It's proposed by Councillor Cooper, seconded by Councillor Evans. All those in favour? Motion carried. This brings us to number 6, business arising from previous council meetings. We have nothing here. Number 7 is Warden's activity report. On September 19th, I went to a workshop for the governors of St. Ed's University. On the 19th of September, I went to a meeting. The honor of Noël Després, who was the exiting councillor from Université Saint-Anne. On September 20th, I went to a meeting of the governors' meeting at Université Saint-Anne. This was a regular meeting. And on October 4th, I presented myself at the municipal office to assist the results of the District 5 results from the election, and congratulations again to Councillor Como, and thank you to Gary Leblanc and Susan Como for their interest for presenting themselves. On October 11th, I went to the opening of the community center at the Baie-Sainte-Marie. This was the official opening. They rebranded from the Lions Club to the center of Baie-Sainte-Marie. An official, and there are the 3 interviews. On October, I did an interview with SIFA and also with the CBC French section at Radio Canada. Are there any questions or comments? This was my report. Now we go to number official statements from members of council. Does anybody have official statements this evening? This brings us to 9.1. This is
Karen Tiller, who's the manager of ministerial and executive correspondence. Yes, thank you.
For Northern Ontario. I am responding to your correspondence, which the Office of the Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Mark Carney, sent to her on September 11th, 2025. You wrote about the Guaranteed Basic Income project in Prince Edward Island. Thank you for writing. Please be assured that your correspondence was brought to the attention of the appropriate department officials. Yours sincerely, Karine Tiller, Manager, Ministerial and Executive Correspondence.
So essentially just acknowledging receipt of our letter from the Prime Minister's office, as well as Minister Paddy Haidu, following the letter that we sent after the presentation from the Clare Community Health Board on the topic of guaranteed basic income. Thank you. Any questions or comments on this letter? Fairly straightforward. That's it for correspondence. Brings us to item 10, the report of the Chief Administrative Officer, Stéphane Cyr. Thank you. Just an overview of a few of our projects. As far as the Clare Health Centre, I mentioned last month that the acoustic testing is complete. We identified the problem, and we have also identified a solution to allow us to attain the standard, which is the STC 50 standard. We're essentially are getting some prices to allow us to attain that standard. We're working on through our way through the deficiency report. We've completed about 75 of the deficiencies that have been identified. It's coming along nicely. The municipal staff has been trained on the new operation of the new equipment and the maintenance required for that equipment at the medical center. The documentation to close off the project is being prepared, so we're getting close. The occupancy and handover of the project is planned, and they tell us it's doable. It's for the end of this month. That will mean that the work would be completed. There would no longer be any work crews on site, and I really hope that that will be the case. That being said, we are definitely moving ahead on that project, and the end is near. As far as the Veterans Center, another major project that is coming along well, we are working in the studio. It's the concrete floor that needs to be ground a little bit to level it off before we can install the sprung floor. I forget the French name, but before we have to do that before installing the sprung floor. We have to do the acoustic testing, but in order to do the acoustic testing, the floor has to be installed so that we get valid results. That being said, there's still a little bit of work to be done there. The rest of the project is essentially complete. The countertops are installed. The kitchen equipment is in place. There's also a bit of a deficiencies list, not very long, but it's normal for a project of that size. The municipal staff has also been trained on the operation and maintenance for the new equipment in that building. The landscaping is complete, with the exception of what we're doing around the cenotaph. That is still being worked on, but it will be ready for the ceremony on November 11th, Remembrance Day. We completed and passed our final inspection with Nova Scotia Power, and we also have the occupancy permit for the building with a certain restriction, which is the space for the studio, because there's still a bit of work being done in that section, which is essentially limited to the back of the building. As far as the land use and municipal planning strategy, the Director of Public Works and I are finalizing our evaluation or a review of the two documents. Once that review is complete, we will sit down with Stantec to incorporate the changes that we feel are appropriate and necessary. And after that, they will be made available to the public in order to have a public consultation, hopefully around mid-November. As you'll recall, during the last public meeting, we had promised that there would be another public consultation with the community members who are interested in the topic. At the same time as that public consultation, there will be a consultation with key stakeholders in the private sector. We did that at the beginning of this exercise while preparing those documents. That discussion led to some good information that helped in drafting those documents. Given that Stantec will be here for the public meeting, we're going to try to contact the same stakeholders to invite them to participate in that meeting so that they also can see the final document and give us some feedback. If all goes as planned, the intent would be to have first reading for the meeting of council on November 19th or 26th, if possible, and then proceed to public hearing and second reading in January. Ideally, if we could do it in December, that would be the province's preference, and mine too, actually. But we have to give a certain amount of time between first reading and second reading. So depending on what the dates are, to see if we can do it according to the law. If not, it will have to go to January. As far as the sewer project in Meteghan for development of Melte Holdings across from Blue Rock, that project is coming along nicely. The manhole and the new sewer line have been installed, and Route 1 has been repaved. We had to cut to pass sewer line. We had to cut through the pavement to do that. All that has been done. That part is complete. Our engineers for this project were on site on October 7th, last Tuesday. Everything was fine, no problems. Our contractor for the project, the Vos Dirt Works, they're currently trenching. If you've gone by, you would have noticed that they're installing the sewer pipe. There are two manholes as well that will be installed. One is already installed. The second one will be installed at the end of the road. They're starting to prepare for the sewer laterals for the homes at the same time. And then they will backfill as they go. So that's coming along quite nicely. In speaking with DeVos, they tell me that that part of the project is about 75% complete, so it's coming along nicely. The other part of the project, which is a bit more complicated, is the upgrades proposed for our sewage treatment plant in Matagan, wastewater treatment. We're still at the planning stage for that because we know that the work that's needed, that's required to modernize our wastewater treatment is fairly expensive, and we can't do it all within the budget envelope that we have for this project. So it's a question of what can we do in the first phase with the money that we have, but it complicates the planning because that will be a fairly complicated project. As far as our active transportation plan, as you know, we are working with upland planning and design to develop a new plan. We are at the community participation phase. There are many different things that are happening in that for that project. There's an online survey. Within the survey, there's an interactive map that the residents can look at. They can make comments directly on the map. That has been launched and will be open until October 26th. We promoted the survey via email and different businesses, some participants in the Grand Fondo who were from Clare, to the councillors, municipal staff, as well as 66 other people who were representing different community groups and businesses in Clare. So we're really trying to cast a wide net to make sure that people are aware of this survey and that they would, and to encourage them to participate. There will be some participation meetings on Friday and Saturday. Those will be led by Uplands. We have the Maison du Coucher du Soleil, the students at Clare High School, Inclusion Clare, and the Bellows Cove Development Commission will all be consulted. We also tried to join Clare's Rails to Trails and the Villa Acadienne, and we're awaiting confirmation from them to see if they want to meet with us. There will be a pop-up engagement session at Foodland in Sonyville from 9 a.m. till noon with some workers from Uplands as well. Essentially to talk to people coming to the store to get some comments and feedback with regards to the plan and what we'd like to see. There will be some virtual meetings as well that'll come with the Clare Community Health Board, the REN, mainly because of their Get Sidetracked project on the rail bed, our MLA, Ryan Robichaud, Université Sainte-Anne, as well as the CFA in Clare, the Clare Accessibility Committee, the municipal staff and councillors, and possibly, as much as possible, we'd like to have representatives of Nova Scotia Public Works. We have promoted the survey in this project on our Facebook page. We have promoted it to try to get traffic to the website, to encourage people to click on the links to learn more. So far, the ad has received over 16,000 visits, and we've reached over 4,000 people. We also have an article on our website with regards to this plan, and that's been looked at 278 times in English and 1,072 times in French. So I think we're reaching people, and there seems to be some interest from the community. We've also put posters out around the community in stores and public spaces at different places where we know that people often travel, walking. For example, Cap Sainte-Marie at the lighthouse, the entrance to the Mavilette Beach, the family park in Matagan, on the sidewalks, etc. There will be some at Saint Anne as well, the Wentworth Lake, the Havelock Community Center, etc. And finally, we are having some ads on CFA. So as you can see, we're really trying to get a high profile to this plan and to try to create some interest in the plan and to get the participation of the residents. For our Veterans Banner program, we had a total of 17 applications. One came in after my last presentation last month. The banners have been shipped. They're on their way. And we expect to receive them next week. Then the banners would be installed before the end of October. That's our goal. And they will be there in Sonyville until November 12th or shortly after. We don't want to keep them there too long because of the wind. As I said, the installation will be on Route 1 in Sonyville, both directions starting from the Veteran Center. As far as our new equipment storage building, which will be built here next to the municipal office, talked to Delmar this morning. They are the ones who will be building it. We're still waiting on the concrete contractor. October is a heavy demand month for concrete. We know there's big projects and everybody's competing for concrete. That being said, our order is booked and it should be here next week to start to prepare the slab. Then the framing will start and they hope to have it roof tight by the end of November. It'll get going pretty soon. I don't want to talk about the water voucher program, but rather to get my report, we'll talk about it under item 12.5 on the agenda because we'll need a council motion. And finally, as far as our finances, as of September 30th, 2025, the municipality recorded $12,808,821 in revenues versus $6,683,033 in expenses, for a operating surplus of $6,125,788. Again, as of September 30th, 2025, the municipality had a balance of $6,702,621 in its operating fund, $20,037 in its capital fund, and a total reserve balance of $2,230,388. That last amount, $2,230,388, can be broken down as follows: operating reserve, $826,692. Capital reserve, $101,000. Landfill closure reserve, $382,449. The Canadian Community Building Fund, or gas tax reserve, $394,584. And finally, the SSGF reserve, $525,663. Two things to note. First of all, for our gas tax reserve, we haven't received any payments for this year, so that's essentially the balance left at the end of last year. Secondly, 3 days after we prepared, after September 30th, so early in October, we received our provincial money for the Veteran Center. So our short-term funding for that project, that will allow us to replenish our reserves. So you will see they're a little bit lower than normal this month because we're cash flowing a good portion of that project. Now that the money is in our account, we'll be able to replenish our reserves as planned. So you'll see a difference in those balances. They'll be up next month. That concludes my report.
Thank you for your report. Are there questions or comments on this report? No, that's good. So it brings us number 11, committee reports, Conseiller Evans, Western Regional Library. Thank you. The committee, we met on September 25th. We spoke about financing, and which is an important, very popular discussion, where we said that we had not received any increase in our funding yet lately. So it's since with September 24th, we're waiting for a funding review, but we have still not received any answer from the province. So we hope to have this before the 25th of November. But apart from this, in July, we had pushed to have a committee to send letters to the Honorable Minister of the Department of Heritage. So we have received funding that will bring us up to date between here and the 31st of March. We don't have to do any more services, so we hope that we can, in the future, we can have an answer before the 24th, so we can plan for the next year. Thank you. Thank you for the update. Are they ahead? Is there a discussion at all on these comments? I hope it will come in time. This finishes the reports. Are there questions or comments on this one? Number 12, new things. Motion to approve funding, Société Acadienne de Clare. Yes, this is follows, if you will allow me to go back to the CMA 2024, according to the agreement with the organization committee of the CMA and the Société Nationale de l'Acadie in Moncton. We have they must give the surplus of the CMA to the CMA, so we have to have for a specific project that both parties would agree with. It's essentially, if there's any money left after all the expenses have been met for the CMA, the CMA, and they were approved on the 21st of July. They have agreed to put their surplus of 240,000 this way to the municipality of Argyll, an amount of 70,000, and also to the municipality of Clare, $70,000. The SNA 70,000 for the continuation of the work of the Zeto Généraux, and finally to the foundation, foundation of National Foundation of Acadie. They will get the difference of what is left. The municipality of Clare has received 70,000, and these funds are in our account on the following condition that the funds must be used to apply to projects that are Acadian heritage. This being said, a few weeks ago, the director of the Société Acadienne came to make a presentation here, report on the project that the Société is trying to put up. It's a modernization of the equipment of the theatre at Marc Lescarbot at Université Sainte-Anne, for sound and lights mostly. The Société Acadienne, with the permission of the university, is in discussion with Heritage Canada and the APECA to the province to bring this project forward. And they have estimated that the project would be around $700,000. But a part of the criteria to get this financed, there is a 10% that the Société Acadienne must contribute they asked the council that the municipality could maybe contribute this 70,000 that they have received from the CMA towards this project to modernize this theater. And this is, the criteria has been approved, and after discussing with council, we have judged account. We have decided to approve this contribution towards this project. I spoke to the people who gave us this funding. Even though this 10% comes from the municipality, they agree that this can be used for that project. I worked to the president of the university just to assure us that the project has been approved by the university, and Mr. DeVoe said that was the case. So if you still agree that we proceed in the way that we bring this contribution to the Société Acadienne, we need a motion, official meeting for this 70,000 surplus funds given to the Société Acadienne. Also, this is conditional with the fact that they will receive the rest of the funding for this project from ACOA. If not, the 70,000 would come back to the municipality. Are there questions or comments on this motion? Does somebody want to propose? Councillor Kruper? I will ready to make this motion. I move that the council for the municipality of the district of Clare contribute 70,000 surplus from the CMA 2024 to the Société Acadienne de Clare in support of their project to modernize the Salle Marc-Lescarbot located on the Church Point campus of Université Saint-Anne, and that these funds be conditional upon confirmation of the balance of project funding. Proposed by Councillor Cooper, seconded by Councillor DeVoe. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried. 12.2, a motion to send a letter to the Honourable Arthur Leblanc. Who was the former Lieutenant Governor of Nova Scotia, has been now Chancellor of Université Saint-Anne. And we're looking at the press that Michael Sanson, president of the council, that Arthur Leblanc was a notable Acadian leader who he has been a judge and lawyer, respected, and because of all his contribution, the municipality of Clare, we had the opportunity to work with Mr. Leblanc and his wife at many different occasions. It was always impressioning to be able to speak to Mr. Leblanc. He is very well liked, and I think it is just for us that the municipality and council, if we send them a letter to congratulate him as being named as Chancellor of the university. So if you agree with this, we can entertain a motion in this regard. I think the times we have met with Mr. Leblanc, I think we deserve this letter, and I'm ready to do the motion. I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare send a letter of congratulations to the Honourable Arthur G. Leblanc in recognition of his appointment as Chancellor of the Université Saint-Anne. Proposed by Deputy Warden Potier, seconded by Councillor Evans. All those in favour, motion carried. 12.3, a motion to enter intermunicipal services agreement for Digby County Remo. Thank you. The municipality of Clare has always have an EMO, emergency organization, to face if there are crisis situations in the municipality of Clare. And the HEMO coordinator is vacant now, but the HEMO counselor and the the organization of Remo in different roles, the planning, financing, communication, with the municipality, the operational responsibilities, and this one was for all municipalities across the province. Recently, the province has changed the regulations, saying that municipalities could not have a standalone Remo, they should have a regional Remo. So essentially it is for a partnership between different municipalities to form an organization. So essentially it can be 2 or more municipalities that can get together. This being said, we started discussions with the municipality of Digby and the town of Digby with the permission of council to look at the formation of a Remo for the county of Digby. We also had could have worked with municipality and town of Yarmouth and Argyll, but since we have already worked with the town of Digby and where all the 3 of us are in Digby County, we thought there was a synergy here, and we decided that we wanted to work with this group. This being said, the volunteer of the other municipalities to work together to form a Remo. They have already done their own Remo, but they are allowing us to join them and to serve the whole county of Digby. So there's a process to follow, and we're doing what needs to be done. Part of the process which we must do is to sign an agreement, emergency service agreement. The town and the municipality of Digby have already signed this, so they're going to modify these agreements, including Clare's, so that we can sit at the same table. So this is what I'm presenting to you this evening. We discussed this at the council and committee meeting, and the municipality and the town of Digby, both of them had recommendations to allow us in. So the official emotion of the in Digby will be done next week, but we have the buy-in of the 2 municipal counties to agree to sign the agreement. So we have already looked at the agreement at the last meeting. Council agreed with the content. Nothing has changed with this agreement in the last 2 weeks. So if you still agree with this, we need a motion this evening to recommend a motion to proceed at the signature of this agreement with the town and municipality of Digby. Questions or comments on this one? Conseiller Hill?
Sense for all 3 parties involved, and we should definitely go ahead with it, and I'm prepared to make the motion. I move that the council for the municipality of the District of Clare enter into an intermunicipal emergency service agreement with the municipality of the District of Digby and the town of Digby to establish a regional emergency management organization for all of Digby County.
Propose it.
Moved by Councillor Hill, seconded by Councillor Como. All in favour? Against? Carried. 12.4, motion to send the letter of support to the Far Out Festival. Thank you. We have been asked this year by the organizers of the Far Out Festival to send a letter of support to support their funding application to Canadian Heritage. Every year they ask Heritage Canada for a bit of funding to help pay some of the cost to bring musicians into Clare as part of their annual music festival. It's something that we have done traditionally. They're not asking us for money. It's just a letter from the community as represented by the municipal council saying that the Far Out Festival has some positive impact for the community, but economic and cultural, and that we as a municipality, that we see a value added to having this event here in our municipality. So it's something we've done each year with a motion of council. In my opinion, nothing has changed. It's still the same request. essentially the same letter that we'll send. But if you agree, we would need a motion to authorize the drafting of a letter for that purpose for this year. Questions or comments on this item? Councillor DeVoe. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make the motion to help the Far Out Festival. I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare send a letter of support to the Far Out Festival as part of their funding application to Canadian Heritage. Canadian Heritage. Moved by Councillor DeVoe, seconded by Deputy Warden Potier. For, against, carried. That brings us to 12.5. And Deputy Warden Potier, if you don't mind chairing. $12.5. We had a request. So we had request for bottles of water according to emergency management. Yes, during the last meeting of the Committee of Council, and we had calls from residents of the municipality of Clare, as well as discussions with our MLA, Ryan Robuchon. We talked about the possibility of setting up a water distribution program, potable water, for the municipality of Clare. With the support of the province of Nova Scotia, and more specifically the Department of Emergency Management. Essentially, the criteria for the program, it's essentially a program that allows the municipality to work with the private sector, stores, service stations, etc., to offer water free to the residents of Clare. The municipality would pay, reimburse the private sector, be billed by the private sector for the water, and then would pay, then would be reimbursed by the province for the amount of water that's been distributed this way. The first step, given the urgency of the situation, we took the initiative to start it. We didn't want to necessarily wait until tonight. The first step was to put in a provincial request for assistance in order to identify the need in the community and specify what we're asking for. That has been done. I was in discussion with the province yesterday morning. Our application has been approved. It's more of a formality. I didn't think they would question the need, but we do have to follow a procedure. As I said, there is a process. In terms of distribution of the water, it's limited to 4-liter containers. It's not the large things that we have here or packages of 12 or 24 small, but it's limited to 4-liter jugs. A maximum of 4 liters per family member per day, or if you have a household where there are 4 people living under one roof, then that would be, each has access to 4, so it'd be a maximum of 16 liters per family per day. The maximum that a household can have is 16 liters per day. So 4 people or more, it's 16. 2 people, it's 8, etc. So that being said, in terms of distributing it, there were different ways to do it. We decided to follow. It's a voucher program. So when I said we will work with the private sector, we'll see which stores would like to participate. Then the municipality will ask people who need here to come to the municipality, register, then we'll give them a voucher. The voucher will indicate which stores are participating in the program. And with those, they will give vouchers for equivalent of 2 weeks for those people, so that they can go to the store of their choice, stores that are participating in the program, to pick up the water. There will be a limit to how much we can get at any one time, so it might mean that a family or an individual might have to go more than once within that 2-week period. because we have to manage the inventory and access. We don't want people to hoard or stockpile the water. So we are started today. Ryan Flynn, our community development officer, started going around Clare to see different stores, businesses, to see if there was interest in participating. Even if it's outside the municipality, we're also going to include Weymouth in our program, simply because, as you know, people who live in San Bernard, Bellevue Cove, Havelock, Hilltown, Ohio, that area, it's a lot easier for them to go to Weymouth than to come to Meteghan, for example. So I have just verified with the municipality of Digby. They don't have such a program. So the Weymouth stores are not participating with Digby. Otherwise, there could be some confusion on the coupons, but that's not the case right now. So right now, we are starting that process to see what interest there is from the private sector. That being said, internally here with the staff, communication officer, and our finance staff, we're developing the templates that we have, the promotional materials to ensure a good launch of this program. And that's being done, and I think it will be done fairly quickly. The people who want to enroll simply need to come to the municipal office or to the MLA's office. Ryan Robichaud, there would be 2 points for example, somebody from Salmon River wouldn't have to drive to Little Brook. They could, if they want, they could stop at Ryan Robichaud's office in Meteghan. It'll be the same template, same documentation, the same process, etc. So then our finance department will do all of the reconciliation of all that, and to submit a claim to the province. Have to be that at least every 30 days. That being said, we had our first staff meeting today. It was kind of all hands on deck to try to get going on this as quickly as possible. We hope, if all goes well, that we can officially launch the program next week. That being said, once we have all the ducks in a row, we will have a press release or a communique in social media to tell people that the program has been launched and that those who need it, who need water, can go at different places in the municipality to pick it up. But as I said, the important thing here is that the individual or the resident or member of the family will need to come to the municipal office or Ryan Robichaud's office, one or the other, to enroll officially in the program, because to do the necessary tracking, there is some information that we will need. Number of people living in that house, civic address, telephone number, etc. It's not overly complex, but nonetheless some information that we need in order to deliver this program. That being said, I imagine that the council still wants to go ahead. I know, but given that we made a motion to recommend to start up this program, I would ask if you're doing to make this motion, to make it a bit more official, and motion to approve the launch of this program. Thank you, Mr. Sear, for the excellent work. Is somebody prepared to make this motion? Councillor Evans. Thank you. I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare apply to the Nova Scotia Department of Emergency Management for assistance to implement a water voucher program to provide bottled water to residents during a declared water shortage. Supported and seconded by Councillor Cooper. For, against, carried. That completes section 12. Section 13 is the closed session. We have a personnel matters. Before moving to the closed session, the date and time of the next regular meeting of council will be Wednesday, November 19th, 2025 at 5 o'clock. We need a motion to go to a closed session. Councillor Evans, supported by Councillor Camo. Good night.